Hello, my name is Contover, and this is the Current Buzz. Thanks for watching today. I would like to say that we have a gentleman that I enjoy talking to. He's the principal of McCarthy School now. He was the principal of Parker Middle School, and his name is Dr. Jeff Parks. Thanks for coming, Jeff. And
thanks for having me.
I'm going to ask you what's happening. You were the principal at the Parker, and now you're at the McCarthy, the former high school.
Right.
Now, did you go to high school at the McCarthy, or you went to
CHS?
Oh, CHS.
Yeah,
okay.
but I did when I was at the McCarthy. It was 7th and 8th grade, like it is now.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's the rugby coach of Chelmsford High School. How long has the rugby team been there now?
We started in 2019.
Okay.
Yep. So we're coming up on our fifth season now. We didn't play 2020 because of COVID, but we've been back at it ever since. Made the state tournament the last 2 years.
Good for you.
Getting almost 40 student athletes to come out now. So
wow, good for you.
We'll start again in the spring and keep growing, moving in the right direction.
Oh, it's a spring sport.
It's a spring sport in high school. Yeah.
In high school. Okay.
Yeah.
How many high schools have rugby?
There's just under 25, 20 to 25.
Okay.
We'll be adding into the MIAA this year a team from Worcester and another co-op team from Canton and Oliver Ames are combining to make a team. So we'll be up just about 25 teams for boys, and there are 8 girls teams in Massachusetts right now.
All right, so let's talk about the McCarthy School,
All right?
If you don't know, McCarthy went to 7th and 8th grade, and the 5th and 6th graders are now in the Parker before they were split. Is that correct?
That's right.
And so from what I understand, there's 29 buses that go from one school to the other, from the Parker to the McCarthy School and then to home.
That's right.
Or vice versa in the morning. Explain to me the 29 buses. When I heard that, I couldn't believe it. So how is that working out, especially in the wintertime? How do you think that's going to work out?
So the idea is that prior to this, both schools, Parker was 5 through 8, McCarthy was 5 through 8, and each had their own fleet. And so it was kind of easy, and they're doing runs at the same time. We had to combine buses so all middle school kids still take them, meaning just one 29 bus fleet now, because there just wouldn't be enough time for them to do the CHS run, a McCarthy run, a Parker run, without really impacting all the elementary schools. So the decision was made that we have the 29 buses. They drop off at McCarthy in the morning, and then head over to drop off at Parker. And then in the afternoons, they pick up at McCarthy first, and then head over to pick up at Parker.
So what time in the afternoon should I avoid the McCarthy Parker?
That's a great question. And you know what? If people would want to know this, I would recommend from 2:25 to about 2:45, 2:50. I would stay away from anywhere like that. That stretch from across like the softball field at CHS, all the way down to the gazebo. Once you can see the gazebo, you just want to avoid those areas.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And if you're going through that area in regards to, the blinking lights say 20 miles an hour, and you should slow down going through that area of the Parker School and middle school.
That's important to bring up too. I mean, everybody's in a rush, right? And everyone's business is more important than the person that's driving behind them or whatever. But we're talking about kids. And if a child needs to cross the road or comes out of nowhere, like we've been hearing this for our whole lives,
or bicycles.
Right? Or bicycles. You name it, chasing a ball across the field. We're talking about kids. So let's slow it down. You'll get there. I think everyone could benefit from kind of slowing down.
And you will be ticketed if they do catch you.
Oh yeah, we have great support from the Chelmsford Police Department. So without a doubt, they're here to help with that for sure.
So if you come to Chelmsford, and you see the 20 miles an hour, who I see that slows down more so in the 20 more is out-of-staters. If they're like from New York, I see them. They brake. Yeah, and they slowly go through. I don't know what the situation with Massachusetts,
Maybe they're on the lookout for like the stateies, right? Because I think that's a reputation of the Mass State Police of being pretty diligent as well. So okay. I don't know.
I don't know what that is. Yeah. So how's it going? I mean, how are the teachers? That's the most important thing, and the students, how they adjusting to that. Now, did some teachers move from the Parker Middle to The McCarthy,
yeah.
they did. And how are they surviving?
So, overall, there was a ton of buildup, right? And so the teachers who moved was largely based on licensure. So the 5th and 6th grade teachers who were at McCarthy prior are now at Parker. And the 7th and 8th grade teachers who were at Parker all along are now at McCarthy. So that was a kind of an easy split based on licensure.
Right.
In addition, though, some of the other specialists, like the teachers who teach multiple grade levels, had the option of having a discussion about if their counterpart at the other school would want to trade, and that did happen with a few different departments, including special ed as an example.
I see.
Because their licensure spans multiple grades.
I see.
So that's been great. The move itself, the logistics of the move were massive. It was a huge lift for everybody involved. Our custodians and facilities department really got a chance to showcase their organizational skills and their diligence. And things were packed, they were moved, they were where they were supposed to be, they got moved into the right classroom. So over the summer, there was just materials and furniture and everything being moved back and forth. But, across the board, everybody did such a great job with that. And I think that was one of the things that was making the staff most nervous. The teachers have acclimated very well, super impressed with how they're coming together as a group.
Oh, good.
What we did was with our schedule is that we combined a team that came over from Parker, a 4-person team, with one of the teams that was existing at McCarthy. So there's a little bit of comfort that they had, like their teammates that they had been working with.
Their peers, basically.
And at the same time, gave them the opportunity to have, like, if we're both science teachers, now I have a science teacher on my team, and we can, stay in tandem, work through things together. So it's given them a colleague that they didn't have that they might share students with now. So it's just a little bit of a different way of approaching the scheduling, which has been great.
Okay.
Yeah.
How's the food and lunch? I mean, do you have new equipment, or are you getting new equipment in there? Because I know they're building up the schools with new updated equipment.
There's been a few upgrades that happened at McCarthy, and the kitchen is one of them.
Okay.
It's not open yet for business, so we have started the year with the food services staff traveling back and forth between the high school.
Wow.
They prepare everything and then come.
I see.
From my view, it's been seamless. I know the people who are actually doing it are really, excited about the kitchen opening up, which we anticipate will be within like the very beginning of December. So we're getting super close.
Oh, okay, good.
All new equipment. The same renovation or similar renovation happened at Parker 2 years ago. And so now it's happening at McCarthy. It's beautiful. New floor, new equipment, top to bottom.
Yeah.
So the staff are really excited about getting in there, learning how to use everything, so they can start to serve the kids out of there and, preparing the food for them.
So you're going to have Christmas dinner there, I mean, before?
Let's see.
Yeah.
Let's see. Well, I have volunteered, me and the staff to do any test runs. So they want to try something out. They want to make some pizza. They want to make some different items that they're going to be preparing for the kids. We will gladly go in and do some sampling for them.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Let me know.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Make a little community event out of it.
Exactly. Open house. Do we have open house yet?
Yeah, we had open house back in September, like mid-September-ish for both grades. We did a 7th grade night and an 8th grade night. And then yesterday, as a matter of fact, we had our first round of parent-teacher conferences, which is new in the middle school for the middle school teachers. Grades 5 through 8, we send out emails with a bunch of time slots and things like that. So parents get the whole kind of open house overview in the beginning of the year. Then after the end of the term, they have a chance to get a little 10-minute discussion, one-on-one. We'll do that again for the elementary and middle school students on December 7th this year, and then we'll just keep moving forward after that.
Oh, good. That's good.
And even outside of that, they're always accessible. We encourage parents to reach out to the teachers directly with questions and things like that. So.
Do you have a yearbook, 7th and 8th grade yearbook, or will you have one?
We will, yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We got lucky that one of the teachers that came over from Parker, Ashley Egan, is one of our special educators. She stepped up, and she's going to manage the yearbook. She's got a group of kids that are helping her, so we're excited about it. It's going to be the first, it should look a little different. It's the first one, so it's a big deal. And I know that they have a a good crew working on it over here at Parker as well.
I think a yearbook, in my opinion, is a history of the school and of the class. And I know there's history outside which should be added to the yearbook so people will remember,
That's
you
right.
know, specifics, you know. With Taylor Swift or something like that, pictures of her in the yearbook so they can remember that Taylor Swift was popular at that time.
That was the thing at the time, yeah, sure.
Yeah, exactly, you know.
Yeah.
Did you get tickets to go to see her?
I did not.
Okay.
I did not.
I'd like to go
Maybe
see
next
her.
time around.
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
next time around.
We could
We'll
both
see.
go. and
Right?
stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Speaking of tickets, do you still go to the UMass Lowell hockey?
I do, yeah.
Oh, you do?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. As a matter of fact, last weekend we had a school night, a middle school night.
Oh, okay.
So a whole bunch of us went, and they played BU.
Yeah,
It was great. It was a good game. Yeah, it didn't end up well, but it was still fun to go.
Yeah.
I don't go as often as I used to.
Yeah.
But
I know you used to go quite.
I used to go. Yeah, I had
Yeah.
season tickets for years.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a lot of fun though. Yeah, I enjoy it every time.
Once you have children in high school, you have to give up the season tickets.
You give up
know?
season tickets.
Yeah.
Something's got to give, and sometimes it's that. You know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. Now that you're at the Parker, it was a former high school. At the
Okay. Yeah.
McCarthy.
Yeah.
Excuse me. You know, I still think of you of being at the Parker.
Well, I flip it around sometimes too.
Yeah.
It's
Okay. Good. Phew. That's good for me. So. The McCarthy has a theater, which you don't have at the Parker.
Right.
Now, what's happening with that? I mean, that
Yeah.
theater was big.
So some of the, like I mentioned, some of the different upgrades that have happened, but even just being in the facility, one of the things I've found to be incredibly helpful is the auditorium's beautiful. It was just redone a couple of years ago.
Oh, okay.
Just knowing
They
that.
still have wooden seats?
No,
Oh,
everything
no.
is new. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
you should come over and take a look. Come
Wow.
over, we'll take a little tour.
Oh,
I'll show
okay,
you
good.
some of the
Yeah,
things.
sure.
But it's really like state of the art. It looks beautiful. But knowing like at any time if I want to meet with a team or a group or any 200 kids, 500 kids at a time, we have a place. At Parker, we used to have to plan everything around the lunches because everything had to happen in the caf. So that's a perk that has been outstanding. There's also a lecture hall with 100 seats in it. So
Oh, wow.
some of our teachers will have the ability to like book the lecture hall and have 2 or 3 science classes run at the same time, or do some different activities in there where you want to bring a bunch of kids together or cross teaming things together. So we encourage that, and that's been like just having those 2 spaces to meet with larger groups has been made things a lot easier to schedule.
Let me ask you this question in regards to theater and the lecture hall. Do you need paintings, or did you take the paintings that you had up here over to the McCarthy?
No. So you know what? As a
okay.
matter of fact, I met with Principal Blagg from Parker and a team of people yesterday here in the conference room.
Right.
And the pictures that you donated to us.
Right.
15 years ago, maybe 10 years
Yeah.
ago. They're still there.
Okay, I
Yeah.
just want to make sure.
Yeah.
So, do you want paintings? I'll ask people, here on television if they want to donate some paintings to the McCarthy School that you would put them up. And
We'll find a place for 'em.
Oh,
Sure.
okay, good.
Yeah.
So, if you have any paintings at the house that you don't want, original paintings, and you don't want anymore, bring them to the McCarthy School, and they'll put them up in the hallway or wherever.
Yeah, we'll take a look at them
Yeah.
and decide whether we might be able to use them.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. MCAS, we still have it. I remember there was talk about getting rid of it.
Yeah.
7th and 8th grade, they still do
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
testing for 7th and 8th grade.
So that'll come up. The testing window opens at the end of March 25th,
Okay.
and then we'll be kind of testing, throughout May, off and on. Both 7th and 8th grade, 7th and 8th grades will take math and ELA as they always have. 8th grade also takes science, and then still waiting for a little bit more information, but there is a history pilot that exists now,
Okay.
which we may have some kids, if not all, participate in that in the 8th grade as well. Just
Speaking of MCAS, has COVID affected any of the students' learning, or
I think so.
you think so?
I do. Yeah, I do think we'll rally back from it. Over time. not only from like a social emotional, like a interpersonal standpoint. We definitely have seen some kids regress and still kind of relearning.
That's too bad.
Outside of how to interact with each other. But I have seen, since we've been back full time, in person, incremental improvements along the way. And I think in academics it's not across the board, but I do think it definitely made a negative difference for a lot of kids. But I, at the same time, am confident that we'll be able to build that back up for sure.
I have an article dated November 12th, 2023, Sunday. McCarthy Middle School kids off Project 300. Explain Project 300. What's happening there?
So this has been an existing program for 48 years at McCarthy, and it started as a one person's idea to collect 300 items to donate to the community. And it took off and turned into this absolute beast of a collection. It's one of the most recognized, arguably the largest food collection and donation, school-based, on the whole East Coast. And so annually, actually let me say this, to date, the school has collected and donated over 800,000 items in the last 48 years. It's amazing, right?
Well, yeah.
And so it's always been like different groups of people who have run it, and somebody always keeps it going.
Right.
And the teachers who are doing it now, 3 8th grade teachers.
Shall we mention their names?
Yeah, if I can, sure.
Well, go ahead.
Yeah, Eric Sullivan, Tommy Gallagher, and Dana Courtney. Those are the folks that I know. There's a lot of others, but they're the 3 that I really saw kind of run with this.
Okay.
And they start to advertise. We made some announcements. And then, as they said, the kids just start stepping up and showing up with food. And we have a group of student leaders who actually we brought over from Parker, most of them. 14 outstanding students who were here with me as 7th graders are over there at McCarthy now as 8th graders. Right. And a few other kids who have been at McCarthy all along formed this group of student leaders who met with the 3 teachers and spread the word, made the signs, and as a matter of fact, I had the opportunity to bring those students and a whole bunch of food to the to the Salvation Army on Tuesday of this week.
Cool.
Made a massive delivery.
Right.
The kids are in, they carry it in, they're sorting, they're interacting with the folks who are there.
It's team building, actually.
It is absolutely outstanding. The placement of it is great because, obviously the holidays and things like that. But it's fairly new in the school. Still, we're only done one term, but this group of students have developed friendships and brought in other kids and things like that. So it's really kind of something cool to watch. But at the end of the day, the amount of food donated and the families that will benefit from that in our whole area, Chelmsford included, that will benefit from that, it really just shows you how important it is to keep that going.
Yeah, I like that. You've been involved. I remember the last time you were on, Channel 25 was picked the Parker
My
Middle
School Rules. Yeah, that's
High
right.
School Rules.
Yeah.
What happened to that? Is that still in existence? Or?
I don't know. So
I don't hear about it.
I don't know. I do know that I'm still a massive fan of that news program and the folks who helped us. It was DeBella Law that made the generous $5,000 donation. But it was something that I literally saw. It was August of, what was that, 21. I literally saw it on the news, and I was like, yeah, I'm going to interest into this. Well, why not? I had to write an essay.
Yeah.
I could brag about the school a little bit.
Yeah.
And then when I got called, hey, we want to talk a little more, I was like, okay, all right, And then when they ever came out and they put a story together and it came down to 2 schools and then we got selected, it couldn't have gone better. It was just such a big...
I think kids will remember that 10 years, 20 years from now.
Forever.
Remember when Channel 25 came out and so forth?
And it's funny to see now some of the kids who are they're 5th and 6th grade at the time, or even the ones who are a little bit older, they're all up at the high school now, but if the clip comes on or I'll see it occasionally, someone will send it to me, and just seeing they look so young. And they're cheering, and the entire school out front.
Yeah.
And then now I see them up at the high school. A couple of them are playing rugby right now. But they were, but they're there cheering for the thing, a year ago.
Are you going to have a Memorial Day ceremony like you did at the Parker?
We're planning to.
Okay.
Historically, McCarthy had done a Veterans Day ceremony, but I think it kind of tailed out after COVID. I've already been talking to Dan McCarthy a little bit, who is the gentleman, he's an 8th grade history teacher, who really spearheaded that effort here. And we've already touched base about it, but I would love to bring that almost identical program to McCarthy. I think it couldn't be more important, and, and as long as...
and you have a theater for that, too.
Well, you know, so...
I mean, you could bring veterans in on Veterans Day or Memorial Day to talk to the classes and so on.
Right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's a lot of different things we could do. If we do the ceremony as we did it here, we couldn't fit the whole school in the auditorium at the same time.
That's true.
And there's something about having it outside in front of the school. I would almost like to duplicate what we did here in a way, but fortunately we have some time, you know, to kind of
figure it out,
to hash that out. But I will certainly let you know.
Yeah, let me know. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
New middle school. They've been trying. The district has been trying to get a new middle school.
Yeah.
Have you heard anything on that, or?
I don't know any kind of inside details. I do know it's been a massive effort for a number of years, and my understanding is that within the next month or so, we should have some sort of update as to if the district has been accepted into like the next portion of it. Okay. So I will continue to remain optimistic, and I'll be happy to chip in any way I can. I think it will be another great learning experience for me and the other administrators and staff who would be involved in something like that. So I'm excited about it, and I think we're due. For whoever's listening, Chelmsford's due. It's our turn.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Right.
In regards to, I wanted to ask you, substitute teachers. I mean, do you need substitute teachers, because you could talk to the people?
We do, yeah. Absolutely.
How would they approach it? How did they call the?
So on the district website, the whole district, we use a platform called School Spring.
Okay.
But on the district website, there is an icon that says, we're hiring, and within there, we need substitutes for people who want that flexibility. I know at many levels we still are seeking paraprofessionals to work with some students. We need folks to work in the cafeteria, like recess and lunch aides. We have been able to hire, and we're filling a lot of these positions now. But there's still vacancies for people who are interested.
So paraprofessionals, let's not forget them. You need paraprofessionals.
We do,
basically.
yeah.
What do they do? What does paraprofessional do?
A lot.
What they don't do.
Right? Yeah. I mean, that's probably a better way to do it. But it kind of, within the paraprofessional group, there are a few different assignments. Some work in like maybe a program with students who have like a super high level of need, maybe even physical needs, all the way to kids who just might need some ability or some support in
for reading or something.
Staying organized in the classroom, a little bit of reading support, maybe like pre-teaching a lesson or reteaching a lesson after, things like that.
I see.
So it's a huge range, and when folks come in and interview, we talk to them about their background and interest, and try to match them into the best possible spot for them.
Right.
But it is just a massive range. And
so if I wanted to do it for one day, I could come in and do it for one day, or is it 5 days a week?
It's 5 days a week.
Oh,
yeah.
Days a week.
But we also need substitute paraprofessionals. So we have some substitute teachers, some substitute paras. So if people wanted to have a little more flexibility and then kind of figure out as they go along, is it something they wanted to stick with, then some people do that.
Yeah, go to the Chelmsford School System website, and they'll be more than happy to get you in there. I don't know how much they pay. The last time I heard, it was $90 per day. Now, I don't know if that's gone up or not, but that's the information that I had. But
I do think it's changed. I don't want to throw out a number and be incorrect, but all that
it's
information
in that ballpark. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
It could be $10 or $20 more or something to that effect. Yeah.
Depending on whether it's a substitute teacher for a day or a substitute paraprofessional for a day, there is a difference there.
Band and orchestra. Are we doing that stuff?
Oh, yeah. Oh. So as a matter of fact, yesterday we had the early dismissal day for the conferences, as I mentioned. We had the opportunity to have all 7th graders and all 8th graders rehearse as a grade level in chorus, band, and orchestra. So we dedicated time for each one of those grade levels within the half-day schedule, because the way that it works now is the teachers do kind of half at a time, but it gave them the chance to have their entire